My name is Andrew Foster. I'm 53 years old. I was born in Farmersville, Alabama, grew up in Selma, Alabama. I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and I came here to meet because one day, about a year ago, next month, I was really lost, and that February before, my dad had died, and I lost two people that I loved more than life itself. One in December, and then my dad in February, unexpectedly. He just died one day. My family was there, and he passed away, and I was really lost. Doing a lot of things in the world, had left the church. And I was sitting at home, and I had Pastor Norman had come to my dad's funeral. He and my dad had developed a relationship, and Pastor Norman was my mother's pastor at the Selma Templegate Church before she died when I was 11. And he had always he developed a relationship with my family, and I didn't realize that my dad was keeping in touch with him. But when right before my dad died, my dad wanted me to call him and to get in touch with him because he lived in Atlanta as well. I never made the call, but when my dad died, I called Pastor Norman and told him about my dad. He came to the funeral, and he would call us every week to check on us. Well, he would call, and I didn't answer a lot of the calls because I was just lost and confused. And June of last year, I decided to give him a call because I was really struggling. And I called him, and I shared some very personal things with him about my life and my struggles. And he didn't miss a beat. He talked to me and prayed for me and told me that God loved me. And shortly after that, I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube, church videos. I had started to keep the Sabbath again, try to keep the Sabbath. I would try to do things that was not on the Sabbath. And one particular day I was watching this YouTube video, and elder came on that I had never heard of, Dwayne Lemon. And I was listening to him, and I had started getting into watching a lot of his videos. And one day I was on my way to work, and I was listening to one because I had started listening to videos every morning. And I was listening to Dwayne, and I can't remember what video it was. And he was talking about M.E.E.T ministry. And so, doing something reckless, I actually wrote it down. I'm driving, and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget it. Because whatever he was saying, and I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but he was just explaining M.E.E.T ministry in one of his sermons and what actually takes place here. So I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget it. And when I got to work, I went online and did some research on the ministry here. And as I was doing that, I found that there was a medical mission study course. And so I thought about it, and I looked into it, and I read some more about it, and I decided to do the home study course. And through the home study course, I became more interested in what other things are happening here at M.E.E.T. And so I decided to look deeper, and I found our home. Started dealing with some health issues after my dad. After my dad died, I went to the doctor that a couple of weeks later after I saw this video, and not knowing that God was setting this up for me. And I didn't realize it until just now that God was setting this up. That a couple of weeks after that, I actually went to the doctor, and he told me that my cholesterol was extremely high, over 200, and my blood pressure was high. He said that we would look at it because my blood pressure could be as a result of the stress of losing two people that was close in my life. But as the year progressed, my blood pressure never went down, and my cholesterol didn't change. It actually started to go up more. And he wanted me to take medication. So I didn't want to take the medication. So I didn't start taking the medication. And then he called me back after 6 months. I went back because I had to go back to be tested. Found out that my cholesterol was going even higher. And he prescribed this time a medication that was even stronger. And I was like, Lord, I don't want to take this medication. But I started taking the lower dose medication. And then I remember M.E.E.T ministry. And so I decided to go online and look at the application. And I looked at the application about a week, and I decided that, okay, stop looking at the application, just go ahead and fill it out. I filled it out, submitted it, and I started to communicate with the people here. Um, Initially, when I saw that there was an opening, the opening that I saw was old, and it was for June, and I wanted to come in June, but this particular meeting that I saw, or opening that I saw, was wrong. And so I talked to the people here, and I think I talked to Alicia, and she told me that they had an opening that she think was in May, but she had to look at some things. But I was struggling because I had to work as an educator. We're ending the school year, and so I had to work, and I didn't want to miss work. So I prayed about it, and I kept praying about it, and God said that I want you to go. And so I called her back, and I talked to my people at work and explained to them what I wanted to do, and got approval to miss work and come. Um, I started on my journey here. I'm scared out of my mind because I didn't know what to expect. And of course, the devil was fighting me all the way. The week before, I was having all kind of mental anguish, negative things happening in my mind, trying to get me not to come. Um, just all kind of crazy stuff that was just happening. But I kept praying. And so the Saturday night before the Sunday I was supposed to be here, I came up to Nashville and stayed in Nashville. That night I was in Nashville, it was a rough night. I was having all kind of spiritual struggles, just really, really struggling spiritually with Satan not wanting me to be here. And so Sunday morning I got up early, and I wanted to make sure, because if I didn't leave early Sunday morning, I was going to go back home. So I got up early Sunday morning and I drove here. And the closer I got, the slower I drove. And the closer I got to M.E.E.T, the slower I drove. So by the time I got here, I think I was driving about 5 miles an hour. Um, Trying my best not to come. All I wanted to do was turn around. And so I pull up, and the first thing I see are the bricks that says M.E.E.T Ministry, the white bricks on the hill. And then I see Dr. Jackson, who's getting ready to ride a bike. And so I remembered him from the videos from the home study course. And he walked up to the Jeep, because I didn't pull all the way in, because at that point I was anticipating backing out and speeding out of here. And so he introduced himself and told me who he was, and he had somebody to bring me down to the Our Home Center. And when I got here, I was the first person to get here, and I met Alicia and had talked to Michael before, and so I knew both of them from their voices on the phone. And Michael came out and introduced himself, and they brought me in, and I had the opportunity to meet a few other people. And Michael talked and shared what was going to happen here with me, and told me where I was going to be sleeping. And so I sat there. And as I sat there, I was saying, Lord, why am I here? Why do you have me here? Why do I need to be here? I can easily take the medication, and my doctor has promised me that I can live a long and healthy life as long as I take the medication. But as I read more about the medication, once you start on one medication, then you have to start on two, and then you end up on three, and then up on four. And I was like, God, just let me know, why am I here? Well, he never answered. And so I sat there, and people started to come in, and I met more people. And as I sat there and we walked down to eat lunch. And then I was told that this was my last meal. And I'm sitting there like, Lord, you know I don't need to be here. You know I love to eat. I'm still overweight. I was overweight then, but since I've been here, I've lost almost 20 pounds, and my blood pressure is excellent. I didn't even know you can have blood pressure as good as mine at this point at my age. Um, and it's just been a great experience, so much so that it has not even become about my health anymore. Because my health is not, at this point, I have control, but what I've learned here is that my first dependency is not on medication, it's not on the juice that I drink, it's not on the food that I eat. But my first dependency have to be on God. I have to focus on Christ first. And I couldn't have learned that lesson anywhere else. Excuse me. I couldn't have learned that lesson anywhere else but here. And for Christ to love me as much, wow. I promised myself I wasn't going to do all of this. But just the love here is amazing. I mean, I've met some wonderful guests here. I mean, we have fun every day. We laugh, we joke, we get to praise God. We get to garden. We had the best experience 2 days ago in in the garden working with the brother who's over the gardening here. Um, just an amazing experience, and it becomes it's so been so amazing for me that it's not even about my health anymore. I'm not even concerned about my health because I know as long as I keep my hand in God's hand, I'm gonna be okay. And regardless of if he decide that he want to heal me of all my ailments or he decide that he doesn't, I still know that he loves me and that whatever he decide to do, it's going to be because he loved me, and it's going to be because he has set my life on track. And as long as I stay focused on him, I'm going to be okay. That that experience is something that I'll never forget. I was supposed to leave after 10 days because initially I had to go back to work for 2 days, and that was a struggle. And God just said through Elder Bland that, that you need to be here. And with that, I prayed about it, and I sent a message to my people back at work. And the message was to stay if you need to stay. But God told me through the people here that this is where I need to be for the remainder of the 8 days. And I decided to stay, and I couldn't be more blessed. I've learned so much about myself and how to love other people, how to be in close contact with other people and still love. To me, if the church, and I'm not talking about any denomination when I'm talking about the church, I'm just talking about the people who love God. If we can love each other the way that I see people loving each other here, we won't have to worry about waiting for Christ to come back. Because this is the thing that is going to shut Satan down and let him know that he cannot mess with God's people. And that's love. And I have not experienced, I have known about my church for all of my life. But the love that's shown here is the type of love that Christ is expecting for every single professed follower of him to do. And if I've never, ever seen Christ before in my life, I've seen Christ since I've been here. And I see it in every single person who has taken the time to manage the things that we need to do to become the healthy people that God intended for us to be. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it. If you are lost as far as your health is concerned, this is the place for you. Um, I couldn't have asked for better. I couldn't have been more blessed. And every single day that I'm here, I plan to absorb all the love that I can get. And when I prepare to leave in a couple of days, I just want the world to know that if you want to be loved and you want to be shown Christ-like love, M.E.E.T Ministry is the place for you. Thank you.